Hello and welcome to Cindy's Corner. This is the next card we're going to make in March's stamp set of the month, and this month the set is Moon Lake. Lots of lovely images that really lend themselves to watercolouring, and that is the theme of our cards this month. So in your packs you will have received a base card in the Wisteria Wonder, 2 layers, one in eggplant and then one in the vanilla, half a doily and a bow in Wisteria Wonder seam binding and some candy dots. So we're going to start by stamping our images on this piece of card, and on this card we're using the stamp with the tree and the boat. And because we're going to be watercolouring, I'm going to be using the Stays On ink. This is solvent based, so it won't run when we start getting our watercolour on it. So to save time, I've already stamped my image and I've started to colour it in. And on the side here, I've used the Thinking of You stamp, and I've put it at an angle just to give it a little bit of a different effect, I guess. So I'm going to spend a few moments to just talk to you about how to watercolour with various of our ink products, and I'm going to be using the blender pen and some of the Stampin' Right markers, and I'm using Lost Lagoon, Baked Brown Sugar, Mossy Meadow. And in order to get my colour, I'm just going to put some on, using the brush end of the pen, put some ink on a surface, and then I'm just going to pick up some of the colour with my blender pen. And these are slightly damp, and I'm just going to work the colour out so as it's nice and diluted, and just add some of the blue to the back of my boat, like this. And as the ink runs out of the blender pen, it gets faded and gives a lovely sort of watercolour effect. My tree I've decorated with the Mossy Meadow and then the little boat with the Baked Brown Sugar. To clean your blender pen, you're just going to run it on your paper until the colour runs out. Now you might see that there's a tiny little black mark on there. It's not going to affect any future use, so you can just put the cap back on to keep the tip wet. If you don't have blender pens, then the alternative is to use a tiny dot of your re-inker. This is the Lost Lagoon here, and again on your surface, and take the tiniest bit and then again just let the colour run out to try and dilute it as much as possible. If you don't have the re-inker, you have your pad. If you give it a good old squeeze in the middle and then open it up, you'll get a nice little reservoir of ink here, and you'll be able to use that as your paint palette. So once we have the piece painted up, we are ready to assemble the card. So you have your piece of cardstock here, and it's been embossed. You're going to put fold it in half along the score line. Then with your elegant eggplant layer and some snail adhesive, attach that in the middle, and then on the back to the bottom I'm going to run some more snail, and then I'm going to attach the piece of the doily. Again, just to centre it up a bit like that, press it firmly, and then I'm going to put my dimensionals. So one on each corner, and then one in the middle. Attach that to my card. Like that, press firmly. Then with your pre-tied bow and a glue dot in there like this, and just pop it on the corner. And then also in your pack you'll have some candy dots, and I'm just going to put one in the top corner here just to balance out my bow. So there we are. I think this would make a lovely card, maybe for a birthday, by changing the sentiment. Maybe someone who's not well or has got a family crisis and they'd just love to get a handmade card with a lovely sentiment. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.